Hello guys, Sweet D here. Welcome to another Thoughts on video. Before we start, I wanna warn you guys that there's gonna be spoilers in this video. But let's get right into it because I don't have a lot of time. I'm always busy now, so. Alright, so I have to say that I enjoyed this movie way better than I enjoyed the first one. I felt that in this movie they actually try to follow some things of the game. Um, So you're basically following the story of Heather Mason, like in Silent Hill 3. Actually, after what happened in the first movie, uh, Harry and Heather, actually, I'm gonna call them that. I know that in the first movie they had different names, but I don't care about that, okay? I hate the first movie. So basically, after what happened in the first movie, Harry and Heather, try to run away from all that and from the order. They're always moving around. And in the movie, they actually just moved to a new house, and they had to change their names. So he changed their name for Harry and Sharon. That's how she was named in the first movie. It was not Cheryl, it was Sharon. She actually is Heather. She changed her name to Heather in this movie. So they moved into a new house, and she goes to school. And then when she's at school, when she's about to change classes, she starts like going loony, like seeing monsters and stuff like that. Just like in Silent Hill 3, sometimes when she gets all loony, um, because of the god that's in her. Yeah. So something like that starts happening in the movie too, and then Vincent appears. Yes, Vincent also goes to school. So he appears and he asks if everything's okay, and yeah, he tries to get close to her, but she kicks him in the butt, basically. Um, so yeah, it basically follows, the story of Heather with some twists. Later on, you know, um, Harry gets kidnapped by the Order, and Heather, when she gets home and sees in the wall, "Come to Silent Hill," written in blood or some red paint, something like that. Um, and she realizes that, the Order, uh, took her dad to Silent Hill, and her dad actually warned her not to go back to Silent Hill because that's exactly what the Order wants, so they can destroy her. So once she's one with Alessa again, that's the only way they can destroy her. Um, so that's why Harry tells Heather not to go to Silent Hill, but you know how stubborn and bitchy Heather is, so she doesn't care. She goes to Silent Hill. Actually, before that, Vincent actually is the one driving Heather to Silent Hill, but they stop at a motel because Douglas gets killed right in the beginning of the movie. Um, so they stay in the hotel for a bit, and Vincent tells Heather that they better not go there, and then he finally tells Heather that he is actually part of the Order, and yeah, all of that stuff. Then later, um, you know, everything turns into the other world, and Vincent actually tells Heather that she's the one doing that. Um, and then, yeah, I'm not gonna go into much detail. Then later on, um, she finally goes to Silent Hill. Um, this movie, like, it tries to follow the game, but at the same time, it just doesn't make sense. Okay, later on, there's gonna be those mindfuck moments. Like, you'll find out, like, actually when they're in a motel, and when Vincent tells Heather that he is part of the Order, he actually tells her that Claudia is his mother. and I thought that was absurd. That just didn't make any sense. And later on, Vincent will kiss Heather. So you're just like, what? Yeah, Vincent and Heather, fall in love, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Um, so yeah, it's a basic story. She goes to Silent Hill to try and save her dad. Um, and there's actually this scene. It was my favorite scene in the movie, where Heather goes to the amusement park, and Alessa appears, and they have that confrontation. Just like in the game. But actually, Alessa in the game doesn't talk. In Silent Hill 3, she doesn't talk at all. She just, when you defeat her, she leaves a message on the ground in a carousel. And actually, in the movie, they do have dialogues, but I thought it was really well done. So that was actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Then she goes to the sanctuary, and she sees her dad, uh, chained. Um, and she sees Vincent because Vincent gets captured. Leonard is actually in the movie too, but I'm not gonna go too much into detail. I'm actually skipping a lot of the story because I know that a lot of people haven't watched the movie yet. But yeah, Vincent gets captured, but that's a long story. Um, and so once Heather gets to the sanctuary, she finally meets Claudia, which is, you know, in the movie, she's Vincent's mother. And so Heather, at that time, she has the seal of Metatron, and you know, they have a little chat, and then Claudia touches the seal of Metatron, and she turns into this monster. And no, it's not God. Like in Silent Hill 3, she doesn't turn into God. She doesn't give birth to God. She actually turns into a completely different creature. And then once she's turned into that creature, she's about to strike Heather, and then Pyramid Head appears. Yes, Pyramid Head is back in this movie. So Pyramid Head appears and starts fighting, Claudia in kind of a sword fight, which was absolutely ridiculous. I hated that scene. It didn't make any sense. And then, of course, in the end, Pyramid Head just slices Claudia in half and walks out like a boss, basically, because Pyramid Head is that awesome. Now, my feelings about the movie. Oh, there's also a last scene where it was kind of a mindfuck, but it was that kind of mindfuck that I loved. Even though it had nothing to do with Silent Hill 3, I really enjoyed that scene. It was when Heather and Vincent were walking out of Silent Hill. There's a truck driver that stops and gives them a ride, and it's actually Travis Grady from Silent Hill Origins. Even though it has nothing to do with Silent Hill 3, I still really enjoyed that scene. It was just interesting. Um, Now, things I hated about the movie, obviously I hated the whole Claudia being Vincent's mother, and Heather and Vincent falling in love. That was completely ridiculous and out of story. I hated the fact they killed off Douglas in the beginning of the movie. I hated the fact that Pyramid Head was in the movie because Pyramid Head belongs in Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 2 only. Okay, so Pyramid Head shouldn't even have been in Homecoming because it didn't make any sense. People should stop with the ridiculous fan service because it just doesn't make any sense and it ruins the whole thing. Okay? Pyramid Head belongs in Silent Hill 2, period. Um, the nurses are back. So, yeah, the nurses are back in this movie. But they're not the Silent Hill 3 monsters. They're actually the Silent Hill 2 nurses. Um, there are some Silent Hill 3 nurses that have like short black hair, and they are holding a revolver and they'll shoot at you. Those nurses are not in the movie. The nurses that are in the movie are the normal ones, the Silent Hill 2 ones, the Homecoming ones. Um, there's also this creature that's like a mannequin, but he walks kind of like a spider. Um, I kind of felt like they were making it look like Scarlet from Homecoming. Scarlet in Homecoming is actually this doll monster, but you'd have to play the game to understand. And when you're fighting her, sometimes she walks in like a spider, walk thing. So it was kind of close to it, but I don't know, it kind of felt weird. Um, Leonard Monster, it wasn't that bad. Actually, Leonard monster form wasn't that bad. What really bothered me is that the first time you see Leonard in the movie, he's actually quote a normal person unquote, and then he turns into a monster because the two parts of the seal of Metatron fuse. Like one of the parts of the seal is inside of him, and he puts the other part of the seal in him, and he turns into this monster. That made no sense at all. Um, and I know it has nothing to do with the game. That part like has nothing to do with the game. There's never two parts of the Seal of Metatron in the game. Um, but yeah, other than that, I thought that it was an enjoyable movie. There were some parts where I really felt like I was watching the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. For example, the part where Heather is going to school and there's this birthday party with these bunch of kids and they're eating, and then there's like this black stuff coming out of the food or the stuff they're eating, and that was so gross, but gross in a way of being in the Freddy Krueger movie, not gross like in the Silent Hill universe. It's a different type of gross if that even exists. So there were scenes like that where I felt like I was actually watching a Freddy Krueger movie. Um, but other than that, I thought that the movie was enjoyable. There were parts that you can see they really tried to follow the story, but then they they got to a point where they just fucked it up and they said, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Um, Now, if you're thinking about go and watch this movie, thinking about it scary, no, the movie isn't scary at all. Especially if you're a Silent Hill fan, you already know what to expect. Uh, so the movie is not scary at all. It's not like the games at all. So uh, the atmosphere is just not the same as the game. It's just not the same. They tried, but it's not the same. Um, But yeah, like I told you guys, that the only part that really mind fucked me and that I raged about was Vincent falling in love with Heather and Claudia being Vincent's mother. And that's like watching a Resident Evil movie and see Chris fuck Claire and Jill being their daughter. It didn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, other than that, it was actually an enjoyable movie. It's not scary, but it's interesting to watch. Especially if you're a Silent Hill fan, then watch it. It's not gonna be the same, but still enjoyable. Uh, More enjoyable than the first one was. I hate that thing. I hate the first movie. I will never watch it again. um, but yeah, that was basically my thoughts on the whole entire movie. Um, if you guys want to go watch it, then by all means, just don't go watch it thinking that, it's gonna be the best Silent Hill movie ever, because it's not. Um, there are some good things in it, but I don't know. It if they hadn't fucked up in some things, in a few things, this could have been. It has so much potential. This could have been one of the greatest, the greatest Silent Hill movie ever made, but they decided to fuck it up in the middle. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, this was my opinion on the movie. I enjoyed it, more than I did the first one, like I said, and that's it. Um, so yeah, guys, if you guys want to go watch it, have fun. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna end this video now. And as for Silent Hill 2, the LP, expect more parts of that. That will be up soon. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.